innovative content, global audience.
It's a very beautiful evening here in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. This is Inside Nigeria. My name is Princess KESSY. You're welcome to the show. Today I have with me on the show Chinedu Oguru, a management consultant, of course, to dissect issues bordering on us as a people. The focus, of course, is always Nigeria, things happening here in Nigeria. But today we bring the focus down to Abuja here, the Federal Capital Territory. Mr. Chinedu, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks
How are you doing this evening?
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm very well.
Thank you for coming over.
You.
Yes, like I said earlier, a lot of things are happening from the court proceedings. We know that the tribunal is on the heat right now. We know how that is going. And of course, we have a lot of issues bordering on the people. But today, we saw that the auto spare part dealers here in Abuja today blocked the FCT minister from gaining access to his office. And the minister, Mohammed Bala, was prevented from entering by Abuja those protesting. They call them the spare parts marketers, the dealers, and of course some of the mechanics also were in that protest. A protest they felt they called a rightful protest, a good protest, because they felt that their right is being trampled upon. They felt that the government is not doing well enough to attend to their demands and their need. Chinedu, in a country where we look at people and we say there is no job, the rate of unemployment is getting, so the margin of those employed and those that are not employed, you could see the margin, the difference is clear. And then you have people also doing businesses here and they're doing well for themselves. Now they are not willing to even look at the government or say, okay, let me sit and wait for the government. They are up there doing their own thing. And then we have issues like this where they are not able to access their shops, they are not able to access their land. Now hold that thought, I'll come back to that question, but viewers, I want us to see this, how it went down today.
One Nigeria. I never go to one Nigeria. All Ghana, one Nigeria. Give us our life. Quick break. You did see that video with me, and you see that it's not very peaceful here this morning around the FCDA. You can see the grievances of the people. You can see the way these are elderly people. These are people's, like I will always say, people's husbands and wives,
father and grandfather. You could see the way they were wailing, they were crying, they needed their lands. And now, Chinedu, I was going to ask you, ahead of inauguration, a lot of people, while some are happy, some are holding a lot too much grievances. A lot of people are sad. At this point, just some days to hand over of power. Do you think we need all this?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for having me again once
You're
again on the show.
welcome.
Well, it's quite unfortunate that this is happening just about 5 or 6 days to inauguration. Just like you said, some people are happy, while some people are sad. I wouldn't expect government at this point to do anything negative that will disrupt the inauguration of the president-elect coming up on the 29th of May. With this action the government has taken, it could make these people that are affected to protest, and it will have negative impact on the inauguration coming up next week Monday. And with this negative impact and negative activity they might carry out on that day, it will bring this country to bad light.
States. And these protesters, viewer, did they are, like I said earlier, they include both mechanics, both spare part dealer, automobile people, and of course, you saw a lot of them coming from Apo to be precise. They came all the way from Apo to FCDA to besiege, of course, the minister this morning, and they actually at some point did prevent the minister from entering. And now they are also saying, alleging that their lands, a land that they were supposed to have been given ownership to, up till now, and this is something that is running into years. That is where my fear is, Chinedu. Now, we live in a country where I asked a question earlier today that is it that this when a new government come, they do not follow up from where the other person stopped, so they just come and abandon every other project. If not, these protesters include, like I said, a lot of people, and they all said they spoke with one voice, as many as the crowd, as the people, where they said that the struggle begin way back from 2007, where they bought the land, where the place they were positioned. The then minister El-Rufai came and demolished the place. So this whole battle started from that time, and up till now, that I think 2011, they paid for this land that they are now still crying for the possession of the land. They paid for this land, but up till now, in 2014, they were given the papers of the land, but not the offer letter and the necessary documentation to show that this is your land. Okay, you can take possession of the land. And of course, you know, Abuja is, you cannot just enter any land without a proper government
authorization.
Yes, because when you go there, you know what will follow. And then we have issues of demolitions on a daily basis here in Abuja. And then you go into somewhere, you go and buy another land. The next 2 or 3 years, they might come with this, you are not, this place is not in the master plan. And the next thing, they bring down your structure. Now, this protesters allege that the federal government needs to do what they are supposed to do to hand over the land to them officially, because they are alleging that the federal government have refused to do the necessary documentation. As for these customers, the dealers, the spare part dealer, the mechanic, to access the land somewhere called Wasa at Apo. Now, will you say, Chinedu, at this point, it was the former minister, they said, is supposed to have give them this authorization, Bala Mohammed, and now we have seen another minister here, and now this one is about half days to go. What become of these people just if they are not able to have this authorization? What do you think these people will do?
It's very unfortunate. Like, once again, I would say it's a failure on the part of government. What our government, people in government or our leaders fail to realize that government is a continuum. It doesn't really affect the FCT alone. It permeates all through the sectors of this nation. They fail to realize that government is a continuum. Each coming administration has its own policy. Government should have a particular policy, irrespective of who is the minister or the director at a particular point in time. Government should be a continuum. A policy should be put in place whereby an incoming administration will fall back on and continue.
Continue from
but
that.
in this case, I'm surprised when I learned that the approval for these lands were given to these people as far back as 2011.
Yes.
And when you look at 2011,
they actually paid for the land 2011, and the documents were given to them in the year 2014-15. That land, the whole documentation and the proper offer letter is still what they are crying for after 7 to.
That's why I'm surprised. When you look at from 2011 till date, we've had at least two ministers. And what have the previous ministers been doing on this particular issue? Now, with less than 6 days or 5 days to go, this particular minister has done nothing for the past 8 years on this particular matter. So that's why those people, they have to beseech the office of the minister to tell him to do all the necessary things for them to get authorization and move into the land properly.
So that they don't have issue of dragging. And you know how it is when government, they are about exiting office, they don't have time for any other thing. I think they are trying to pack up and put what's it called? They are trying to leave what's it called? A trace for the other. I don't know. But then you have another minister coming and they tell you, I'm busy right now trying to look into what I met yet. I'm not fully settled. And
like you know, these people, these traders, they are Nigerians and they know what goes on in our nation. They know that when another minister comes, he might feign ignorance that he doesn't know what has transpired. So it will just jeopardize their own chances and affect their businesses. So that's why you see them. Let me not say they're taking loss into their hand, but they're trying to do the needful to call the attention of the minister to do what is needful for him to do before he leaves office.
Yes, the payment of the land was made in the year 2011, while they were given the documents in the year 2015. The land that was given to the auto spare parts dealer was demolished. The first land that was given to them was demolished, and this other one, they have not been able to access the land. Now, their grievances is that they need their land, they need the government to act immediately. Now, see this with me, and you just understand what we're talking about, the pains of these Nigerians.
As you can see, the Abuja residents are here all the way from Mako. They are complaining about their land that has been taken away from them. They don't have permanent houses, they don't have permanent lands, and that is why you can see that the protest is ongoing. And I'm here live to see and to get to know the views of the people and what they think the government should do to help out this situation that they are facing currently.
We paid 10.5 million naira for this said land at the initial time, for this land to be allocated to us. March of 2015, the people of the land came to us by then Minister of FCT, Bala Mohammed. He presented the papers to us, remaining the lease agreement, which is in that document. Now, the lease agreement we are talking about is what we have been fighting for since till date. We have come here several times. Look at what we are doing business in the motorway side. Our people, our members are being killed, being hit by hit-and-run vehicles. Several times in that market. Now, the land that we are allocated to us at Wasa, that is what we are demanding. The government will not give us in a platter of gold. We applied for it and we paid for it. We have spent over 100 million now in the of that same land at Wasa. We are not saying that they should give us land free. We applied for the land, we paid for the land. We have done everything necessary, even the concept. Everything that's supposed to be done in that land, we have done it. Spend over 100 million naira. Up to date, they refuse to give us our land. The other day, the legal council, or what his name is, call us at the archive in a group meeting, telling us that we should change the name of our association, to change the name of our association to the name that they will bring and we send as an MOU. We declined on that. Later we went back and we concluded something. If they are going to send a memo of understanding of changing, they must put it in writing. They must put it in writing. And up to today, they have not done anything. The minister of education, we have met with the minister, this present minister now, over 6 times. We have met with him. The same issue, the same stories. Come today, come tomorrow, come today, come tomorrow. Are we not the citizens of this country anymore? Are we not the citizens? We are citizens of this country for crying out loud. Let them give us our land that we apply for, that we fight for, that we do everything for. Give us the land and let us go in peace and let us settle in our permanent place. That is only what we are asking, what we are begging for them.
Actually, we are here as APO Traders Association. We say our land, Mr. give to us at Mosa. So we are here for the minister. Minister not deciding this agreement for us. What we want to do the land. Yeah, still started by 11. Yes. So during that period of time, we went to the KESSY for the space where we stay. Because our post started 1991 from the 11 to the keep late to our place. So after that, the domination posted and ceased. So we should go to the inside site, which we did now. So along the line, they promised us to give us land where we stay, which 2011 they call us meeting that is the land for us at Wasa, which we went there and said that we'll pay for the surveyor. That's about $10.5 million we pay for the surveyor. After paying the money, there was no answer. We didn't have to wait for that money when we start the city. Once again, come to a point that it was the of the land. So we wait for the lease agreement. So since that time, 2015 now, we're moving around for the land, which was over 140 million naira for it. We get land since 40 million naira. Yes. One of our government people for us, we signed this agreement for us, so we can move to the land and live in the room. We are tired of carrying container every day by day, and I was not affecting our boys are coming to the trying parties and other parties in Abu because of the no lock-up shops and Abu.
We are here to beg our minister to release our land for us.
So where is the land?
The land is located in Wasa, as they said, because the land has been issued to us in 2015. I have been taken from 2015 to 2023. We are into now. It's up to 8 years.
Okay, and you don't have ownership of it?
They have given us the paper, allocation paper, but it remains the lease agreement. We are asking our minister to sign for us.
So now, what exactly do you want the minister to do?
We want him to sign lease agreement for us, where we will let us proceed to our allocation land.
The land, Wasa, the Wasa Road, Wasa.
Okay, Apple, right?
Apple,
okay.
Wasa.
So how long did you pay for the land?
Over 7 years, yeah, for the land.
Okay, so now what do you want the minister to do for you?
One minister to sign the paper. So we will move there. Okay. We are here for a protest, a good protest, and we are asking the minister. We are his children, and we are not here to quarrel. We know he has a good heart. He should assist us. Look at all people. Look at me, I'm sick. I'm not feeling fine. But I came out to fight for the future of my children and the future of Nigeria. So we are pleading to him that he should look down at the tears and the pains of ordinary man in Nigeria. I have been in the business for over 13 years without no place. Come to our corner, all our shops are broken. All of them, year to year, 2 years, 3 years, they will keep on demolishing our shop. So we are here to plead to him with his capacity and his good heart to assist our people and look at what we have done today. Thank you.
They want to spend about 16 million. One is 55. What they did is they go to ages and allocate it where the shop is. It's up almost something million. Yes.
So what do you partially want to do?
The past minister, Bala Mohammed, have given us a letter for intent, but it remained the FCD to sign the letter for offer and approval. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. And every day there's stuff and they are trying to pursue us. We have gone to Mbelembe. Mbelembe called them, but they will never meet. Mbelembe, we are going to protest them. Mbelembe have heard our voice, call them, and say what is going on. And they have agreed that we have an agreement with them. But what they are complaining that they show that the number give them is above the number of people. That is what they are complaining. Yes, that's what they are complaining.
Video with us, as painful as that may seem or be,
SRO-TV correspondent as well, Merival Eze, did report also that these protesters also accused the authority of taking them for granted because they are not government employees. And of course, they've had at that time of the report, you could see that they staged the minister's entrance and they did not allow the man to go in. Now, Chinedu, talking about lands here in Abuja, what do you think residents should do when we talk about land? You buy a land on your own from the indigenous, the locals. Tomorrow, the government will come and demolish the place that the place is not in the master plan, or for one reason or the other. And then you buy from the government as well. You pay to the government. Is a problem for the government also to give you the offer or the authorization, the ownership of the land? Now, what do you think these people should do?
What I expect them to do. In the first place, we know that according to the Land Use Act of 1977, all lands belongs to the state. What I mean, the state government. I wouldn't advise them to take laws into their hands, since, like they said, they have all necessary documentation and approvals, including fees being paid. I want them to, what I advise at this point, for them to approach the authorities. Well, by authorities, I mean the FCC authorities, so that they can sit down on the round table.
And this is something they've alleged also. They told our correspondent as well that they have been coming. This was the 6th time or so, 8th time they have been coming doing this protest. And of course, they've gone to other media houses. They've gone to the media. They've gone to even Lagos. They went to see a said son then that is no more now. So even on the process of the case, the son died as well. And then a lot of issues surrounding land issues here in Abuja. Now, I don't think at this point, you know that when this minister, if this government, if we're talking about hours here, days to vacate the office. Now, what becomes their fate if the government is not able to even meet their demands like urgently?
Like I said, I wouldn't want them to take a lot into their hand. I believe our incoming president, the president-elect, is a man who believes in the rule of law. Just like he had the same issues when he was governor of, in Lagos. Yeah, I will advise the people to just wait for the incoming president, who will come in about 6 days' time, to if it's possible for them to send representatives to the
They have been also to the National Assembly. They went to see the lawmakers. One of these people also alleged that they've gone through all rights channel. Nothing has been done. It's just the promises. So I think, like, they accuse the government of taking them for granted.
See, like I said, I believe the incoming administration, I think they should. It's an administration, I believe, that will have human face.
So they should wait.
They should wait in about 6 days' time.
Okay.
Yeah, and approach the income, because I don't know what this particular minister is going to do. Because if he didn't do anything in 8 years, what do you expect him to do in 6 days? So I would just advise them to be patient, to wait for the incoming administration and present their case to the new incoming administration, and let's see how the incoming government is going to work on their case, instead of them to take laws into their hands.
And don't forget also that our correspondent also reported that according to some of these businessmen, they allege that they said that they have spent millions of naira. I bet the viewers also heard that from the amount, saying that they have spent, total amount they've paid so much is over 100 million. Now, these are family people, these are businessmen. Now, when you go to Apo, to be precise, there is a massive demolition going on right now, talking about Kabusa and Apo, around Apo axis. Now, how do you think they should hold on to that time? Because it's easier said than done when you say somebody should just relax, wait for, you know how it is to assess government in this country of ours. Now, government is not somebody you just wake up and say, I want to see government today and I see government. You have to go through a process. And these people, apparently, these are elderly men. These are not even children. If they were to be youths, you say, okay, the youth, they will come and tag them that maybe they are just misbehaving. But these are elderly people. These are grandfathers. You could see some sitting on the floor. So they were tired. They came that early. So these are some of the issues. And according to them, they spend so much money.
Like I said, if they can hold on for 8 years, they can equally hold on for another 5 or 6 days. I wouldn't advise them to take laws into their hands. Going on protest today is a very good thing they have done. The world has heard them. even if the world hasn't heard them before. But today, because of the media coverage they've got, the world has heard them. And it's not it's a slight on the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari that his Minister of the FCT has been unable to do something for the past 8 years regarding the plight of these traders. It's just unfortunate. It's a failure of leadership.
And do you think this is targeted at a particular people? Because we're talking about the Igbos being the major people in that spare parts market. A lot of these people are from the East. Now, do you think this is even targeted at them?
No, I wouldn't want to subscribe to that view that is targeted at the Igbos. But if you look at the past few weeks in the FCT, demolition has been going on in several places, from Gishiri to Kabusa to Apo. So it's just unfortunate that the majority of the traders in this market happen to come from a certain part of the country. So I don't think it's really targeted at people from this particular area of the country. It's just unfortunate that majority of the traders are from this part of the country.
And then also, viewers, these people also, some of them also alleged that the reason at which this is even more painful to them is that a lot of people, now if you're from Abuja here and you know the Apo road axis very well, you could see also that the road, when we talk about the mechanic village area, the road is very narrow. I, for one, I don't like going there. I don't like either driving or using keke or using bike because I'm so scared. The road is
because of the traffic.
Yes, the traffic
and the road is
so narrow. And then I don't even like going there at all. And these people are now alleging that because Erufai, the then former minister, demolished the whole place, they had to come to the road and they were doing their business very close to the main road, which has led to the death of many of these people.
Yeah, and a lot of accidents.
A lot of accidents, hit and run drivers, and a lot of people have died as well as a result of this because they've already paid for a land. They are not able to move to the land, so they are just managing along. And
don't forget the activities of these people, selling them on the road, causes gridlock on that particular part of the
and these are the issues. So if the government is not giving them their land, these are family men, these are business people, how do you think they will feed their families? They still need to come out, stay anywhere, anywhere there's space, and of course do their business.
It poses danger to them and other road users.
Yes.
And government should just hacken into their plight and do something about
for the safety and for the peace of everybody. Now, some of them also allege that this has caused to the death of many of their people. Look at this with us.
Okay, you are protesting for government to give you a land which you paid for.
The land is not purchased. We have done all the things we should do for us to have the entitlement, for the land allocated to us. All the fees and everything. The land was given to us by Bala Mohammed in 2015. So from that 2015, I'm meeting the present minister to do the needful. We stay in caravans. You understand me? We are people that are self-employed. We employ ourselves. We have apprentices staying under us. You know the apprenticeship in Nigeria. So we have many people under us. We are contributing to the economic development of Nigeria. You understand me? We are doing that ourselves. We need government to encourage us. Give us the land, give us the environment for us to develop the place, and it will contribute to the economic growth of Nigeria. That's what we are saying. Many of us went to school, but there's no people who went to school at all. So we employ ourselves, and they employ other people working under us. At the end of every 6 or 7 years, we chop out some apprentices. We settle them, they stay their own. So it's like a chain. People are doing what? The real market is expanding. We do business in push.
So you want to move to your permanent market? And for now, you don't have your permanent market because of the land issues, right? Okay, sir.
Started with this in 11. From the 11, they sent them to Apo, where they say go to Apo village. A private place for papers. From the other Apo, they move us to the present city Apo. I don't know where they want to move us again. They are doing the road. We shift that. So move one container now from one point to another is 50,000. So we are suffering. We are Nigerians in Nigeria. We want the government to help us.
Okay, sir.
Let's give us the land because we are doing this on the federal road. Then they are walking road and it's not fair. But if our customers are coming to the market, they used to have accidents all years, steady, week to week, month to month, and they don't have any place to go. So let the government, the ministers place for us. We move very urgent because they are walking the road. We don't have anywhere to go. And they're pushing containers year to year. No goods are lost. You buy market and the market will damage. And we have where to keep the market. So we're not happy. We come today to let the government give us a very good reason. Then we go and we'll stay and we'll sleep here until they give us our better land because salary we pay for that land. We need that land for them to use that land for us. We are begging because we are still of this country. We're not slaves.
Since 2006, now when they do demolition of property, that time we never read. So when we go to here, they said that we should buy a land. Buy a land more than 100 million plus. Since that time they never give us our land. So what we are here now to come, make sure that they sign our land. All the whole process they are going for the land. They said that we have already seen all these things. But till now they never signed our land. That's the reason why we are here. To make sure that the government minister make a help us sign make a sign for us, they will give us our land. And the place we get every time we are the suburb said that we get off the road. So all these vehicles we hold up to them. There's no shop. All our shop as we are here now, our shop is locked down. Our children, we are not getting money to chop all those things. That's not us. All the time they are disturbing us. We not get our every time government come and disturb us for that. That's the reason why we are trying to make sure that the minister will help us and sign release our land for us. Thank you.
That these people are very aggrieved. They are still of the opinion that instead of the government to applaud them for trying to create employment, rather the government is taking their efforts for granted. Now I have with me on the show via call live Chief Kelechi. He was there today among the protesters. Good evening, sir. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing this evening? Yeah, so you we saw you earlier at that protest. We know that you are among the protesters, and we also saw the grievances. We also saw the demands the protesters you guys were making their demands. Now, what was I called earlier and you said that a committee has been sent inside to have a talk with the minister. Now, what was the outcome of that meeting?
I'm not believing that the minister said that they are going on Friday. I don't know what time I get to sign the agreement. There were requests and request agenda to upcoming minister to go into it and make sure they find that for us. So after the meeting, we agreed that tomorrow we are looking FDA and the people are looking at Karate tomorrow morning to do the commercial profit that people will know that this is commitment by HCDA to certify. That was our meeting.
Now, how does this make other members and you yourself? How are you feeling? Are you okay with this? Because we know that this whole thing started from the previous administration, and now we are moving from another 8 years to enter another administration. Okay. Okay, sir. Well, thank you very much. We do hope that, like you said, you've been able to maintain peace. That was a peaceful protest. We do hope that you continue to hold your peace just until this whole land issue is resolved. But right now, just before we let you go, sir, so where are the spare part dealer? Where are they located right now? Where are you operating from? All right. Thank you very much, Chief Kelechi. We're going to bring you on the show again to see, because we know it's a developing story, to see just how far you are going on that issue. But we do appeal to you also and your members to hold your peace. Thank you, sir. Yes, that was Chief Kelechi, one of the dealers we just spoke with. Like you said earlier,
just like I said, it's like I was in the mind of government, because we're all in this country. We know that government is a continuum. We like passing bulk. But this was something that the present minister should have done.
How long will this take?
Now you can see from what Chief Kelechi just said. You can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to pass it on to the next administration. My only fear, my prayer is the next coming minister
will even have time for this.
Yeah, because you know how we do in this country. Everybody we like passing the buck. Everybody wants to start on a clean slate instead of trying to rebuild the slate that's being built,
or improve or work with that.
Because I don't know why the minister wouldn't act on this position for the last 8 years. Now he's trying to pass the buck to another minister.
Imagine telling us that you only have 6 days to go and there is nothing you can do at this point. So what stopped you for actually doing this all the while?
So I don't believe that he can't do anything with it.
I asked the question that how long will this even take?
That's what I'm saying. I don't believe he can't do anything in 6 days. If you look at the administration itself, you can see with less than few days to they've been collecting loans,
they always and they will tell you they can't do what they're supposed to do.
They always tell you that they will work until the last hour of May 29th. So why can't he work? Today just the 23rd of May 2023. Why can't the minister work today? Why can't he work tomorrow? Why can't he work on Friday? Now he wants to pass the buck on to the next administration. If it was to collect loan now, he wouldn't tell you the next time. Yeah,
they will collect.
If he wants to sign for a loan today, I bet you don't waste time in signing a loan because you know it will benefit his office.
That is true.
So that this country, I don't understand why wait until the 29th of after the 29th of May. If it just like I said, if it was to sign for a loan, you wouldn't waste a minute in signing for it.
That's only show the country we live in today, and that is why most of these people of course pour their grievances to our correspondent today, that they felt like the government was abusing their silence, was abusing their patience, because you can't tell me that
a land that has been paid for. Like they said, one of the protesters did say on that video that they paid for this land.
I heard the one said they paid 10.5 million.
Yeah, now that was then, and they've been paying, and all together they've paid over 100 million. So why can't you just sign and give these people the land? These are family men. They need the comfort. They need their business to survive. And don't forget, like I said earlier, viewers, that these people, that's one thing that is peculiar with the Igbo people. When they are traders, they bring a lot of boys from their place. They put them in the line of trade. And then they have a lot of people now. They don't have houses. Some of them also alleged that said that their home have been demolished. And now there are no shops, nowhere to go to. So what is in stock for these people?
Okay. And sorry. Another thing I can't wrap my head around this whole issue. Why has the minister or why has the FCDA found it difficult to sign whatever that needed to be signed? What is the problem? They should tell the people this is what has prevented us from making this what's it called signature. Because if they don't sign, they're going to tell the next administration why there's a particular reason why they've not signed. So they should let the people know why they've not signed this document instead of passing the buck to the next administration.
It's really sad, and we do hope that this administration, and of course the incoming administration, like you did says, the president-elect is a man of
people. Like, yeah.
You are of that belief.
Opinion.
We do hope that he is the man of the people and he will come to the rescue of these people to make sure that the approval letter, the offer letter and approval letter is given to these people. Like they said, they have spent so much money. They are ad-hem money. They've spent time. They've been patient as well, not just the money, but I don't think I'll be that patient with anybody. Like 8 years. And this is another thing. Now, this brings us to land issue here in Abuja. I keep telling people, don't buy land here in Abuja. And people say I'm too rigid. No, because you buy and you don't know what might just come up tomorrow. Anything can just happen, and the government tell you, like you said, you quoted from the Constitution also.
Yeah, the land use act.
Yes, belongs to the states. So I don't think I want to risk it. But I know where I come from. If I buy land, it's my land. But I can't stay here in Abuja. So I really do hope sincerely that the government will come to the aid of these innocent residents, because whatever is affecting them will also affect us, other people, their customers, and a lot of like they said that last video that they've lost a lot of people to hit and run vehicle because the road is very narrow. They are all by the road, which is something that is not very safe for all of us. Now, away from Abuja protesters and of course land issues here in Abuja, now we move over to the east where we'll talk about the second Niger bridge. Now, how do you feel about the president did commission that bridge today? And of course, that is a great relief for travelers. If you ask me, because the last time I traveled to Onitsha, I was on that bridge, the old bridge, for like how many hours? Like 2 or 3, 9 p.m. I left where I went for very late, around 6 from inside. And then I was just stuck on top of that bridge, no movement. I was even scared that God, don't let this bridge collapse. So before I enter this water, I don't know how to swim. It was that bad. So away from Abuja, let's go to that bridge issue today.
Yeah, personally for me, I'm elated for the commissioning and subsequent opening of that particular bridge. It's been rare saying congratulations to this particular administration, but I must have
congratulations.
But I just have to give them congratulate the president, President Muhammadu Buhari, and indeed all Nigerians for the commissioning and subsequent opening of that bridge. It is long overdue.
Yes, it's long overdue. If you ask me, it's long overdue because it's going to ease a lot of traffic, a lot of
yeah, because if you look at that particular bridge, it's like a gateway between the southwest and the southeast and the south-south. Okay. Because a lot of people move from the southwest to the south-south and to the southeast. And if you look at the current bridge, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was built before the Civil War. And that bridge, it can't take the volume of traffic that's on that road today. It links Asaba and Onitsha,
okay,
the two states. And then if you look at the bridge, it's a very narrow bridge. And the volume of traffic on that is terrible, especially during Yule tides. Because just like you said, there's sometimes you'll be on that bridge for hours. just to cross from Asaba into Onitsha.
And that time was even January. Not even.
I'm talking during you time period. You can spend over 3-4 hours just to cross a distance of about less than about 3-4 kilometers from Asaba to Onitsha. You might spend 3-4 hours on the old bridge. But with this opening of this particular bridge, I think it will ease all traffic logjam between the two states.
So the bridge is still from the Asaba and then to Onitsha as well.
Yeah. But this time around, they went somewhere inwards on Masaba and inwards Onitsha. Yeah, because the bridge terminated on the Anambra side. It terminates on the on Onitsha Owerri Road. There's like a roundabout that takes you wherever you want to go. And the same thing from Asaba. Instead of approaching the bridge, the old one, you have to get close to the bridge before you can ascend the bridge. But this time around, from inside of what's it called, Asaba, you can access the bridge without passing through bottlenecks before you get to Onitsha.
Wow, that is really a good one. I am so happy for traders because I know that a lot of people from let's say the south, some parts of the south, they all come to Onitsha to buy goods. And I used to feel for people. Sometimes you see married women, they've gone to Onitsha and they are still there. They tell you 7 o'clock p.m. they are still there. Traffic, the road is blocked, no movement, especially on top of the bridge. But it's really a relief, like I said earlier, for road users.
Like I said, it is long overdue.
Yes, and congratulations to us.
To us, Nigerians.
Yes, so because I know I'm going to access that road someday. So congratulations and well done, President. We applaud you for that. And then also we saw that the Senate also confirmed Abike Dabire, the reappointment second term at Nigeria, CEO of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission for a second term. Now, what's your take? Do you think is well deserved?
Personally, I would say Abike Dabire has done her best for that commission. But I would have loved to see a new face head that particular commission, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, so that we see fresh energy, fresh positive input into that commission. She has done her best, but just like I said, I would have loved a new person to take that position.
I share your thoughts as well. I would have loved a new person to take this task moving forward, because we've seen that a lot of Nigerians are actually going through a lot when we talk about in diaspora, a lot of things. This brings me to what happened last year in Italy, where a man that is even handicapped was mobbed to death just by one person. So when you see some of these things that happen outside the country and the slow response, let's even talk about the Sudan evacuations, which took days, which took other country like the government did say that they were waiting for Sudanese government approval, waiting for them a corridor to evacuate the people. But then before that time, you see that a lot of other countries were able to, they have gone ahead to start evacuating the people. So my question was, why not also follow the same way these people? How were they able to evacuate their people instead of even sitting down in a war zone and telling your people to stay indoor until we finish negotiation with the Sudanese government?
It just boils down to one word: bureaucratic bottlenecks in this our nation. We don't see things the way other nations see them. We like to pass through bureaucracy. If you we're talking about the Sudan evacuations, you see the bureaucracy it took Nigeria just to get money to, according to them, buy about buses. They said about, if I'm not mistaken, $430 million.
Yes.
So were they waiting were they waiting for bureaucracy to get this money to buy?
No.
Did the Americans, the Europeans, did they wait to buy buses? Just because we don't treat our people with the utmost urgency it deserves. How do the Americans, how the other nations go into Sudan and evacuate their people? So it just boils down to the fact that we like bureaucracy in this country without looking at urgency of situations.
That was my thought as well, because I did say that if you say they used to say, or they still say, Nigeria is the giant of Africa.
Are we still the giants?
I was going to ask you.
Are we still the giants?
And then you saw also where other African countries even went ahead of us to start. They immediately started evacuating
their
citizens.
Yeah.
And then it was only Nigeria that started having story. I remember then we'll be taking the headlines. It was every day we are meeting. There's a meeting tomorrow to see how we're going to do this. We are meeting with the Sudanese government. So I feel like a country that is already distressed, the government is already distressed. So what meeting do you want to have with these people instead of?
So just because I'm not interrupting you. Even took a private citizen.
Yes.
In the person of Alan Onyema of Airpeace, who volunteered to help the government. If you have not taken that step, like I said, we like following bureaucracy in this nation without looking at urgency of situations. It took a private citizen to volunteer to help to evacuate her citizens from Sudan. That's just the bureaucracy we find ourselves in this nation. We should all take government, as it were. What are the priorities of government? It's the welfare and security of citizens. And we just look at how much it took us to evacuate the first citizen out of.
And as of today, a lot of them are still stranded there.
I just can't imagine. Then what was the Minister of Foreign Affairs doing? What was the Diaspora Commission doing? That's why I said Abike has tried her best. I would have loved to see a new face to head that commission. Let's see whether we're going to get positive results if a new person runs the hems of affairs of the commission.
They keep telling you they don't want people to travel out, stay here, and then they don't do the right thing. When other countries, the quick response is just it for me. Sometimes, even if it's just one citizen that is there, even if it's just two, they will do everything possible to make sure that this person is home, safe and sound. And then also we saw that the president did preside over the extraordinary FEC meeting today. Well, this might just be the last.
Yeah, I was surprised when I learned that the president presided over FEC today. Then I checked my date and I saw it was a Tuesday.
Yes.
Normally the FEC holds on a Wednesday, so I'm surprised why they held it today. Is there anything?
Yeah, sometimes too they used to hold FEC on Tuesday.
Wow, I'm surprised. It tells you that the administration it's winding down.
It's winding down.
So they have
stressing. And this is something I will always tell them. And then the meeting also was held, of course, in the villa. We have the attendance of likes of Boss Mustafa, the National Security Advisor, NSA, Major General Babagana Mugono, retire, as well as other council members. And some of the outcome of that meeting was just issues. They talked about memos, like they approved over 40 memos from various ministries, departments, and agencies.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I give kudos to them for at least even still holding the meeting today. Because if it were some
government administration, they will tell you already passed our files, we can't reopen
at all. Yeah, kudos to them for holding the meeting today. Yeah.
And just before we go, we also saw that I don't know these proceedings ongoing, the tribunal. We've seen on the news today that the tribunal refused the request of live coverage. And what's your take on this?
Personally, I would have loved the court to have approved live telecast for transparency,
and for the peace of Nigeria.
Yeah, so that I think just majorly for transparency, so that people will see what's transpiring in court with their own eyes.
And that might just calm down the tension. The aggrieved people might just know that, okay, this was transparent, and so we need to move on.
Yeah, so personally, I was disappointed with the outcome as given by the court. But nevertheless, that's not the substantive matter. They're still yet to hear this substantive matter.
That is true. Yeah. And there was also a report now that the lawyers representing APC, Ahmed Bola Tinubu and Kasim Shettima at the presidential election petition court have been barred from granting media interviews.
Yeah, I think is that the legal counsel to the president-elect?
President-elect.
If I'm to say something of that, I would just say it's strategic on their own part.
Okay.
Because if you look at during the campaigns, even their principal, who is today the president-elect, hardly granted media interviews. He only granted the interview to selected media. So I guess that's what the strategy is. He's trying to tell his legal team.
So, but what does this imply? Does that mean that when he becomes a president, to be very hard for us to have access to the president, because you are supposed, we know that the media stands as a bridge between the people and the government.
I just pray it's not it's not so, because I know, like I said, it's just strategic on his part. He doesn't want to grant interviews. Even their principal doesn't grant interview. I guess the instruction might have come from above to the media, to the legal team, not to grant interviews. But it's unfortunate if he keeps Nigerians in the dark by not giving us proper real-time information.
Necessary, needed information.
But I just pray that's not what he will do in his administration, because people need information to try.
You did say he's the man of the people, so we just to hope.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The media blackout shouldn't continue during the course of his administration.
Yes.
People need to be informed. People need to know why certain decisions are taken.
Yes, and we also saw quickly, Chinedu, on this one, we saw that there was a major launching of the Dangote refinery yesterday. Massive project, if you ask me.
Yeah, like the president said, it's a game changer.
Game changer, that is the word.
Yeah, but let's just let's just hope it. Let's just hope it brings down the price of petrol and petroleum products in this nation. Petroleum products in our nation. Is this a traffic congestion and is this a queues on the filling station? Or just hope so.
And of course,
because if we because if we look at the analogy, the people have been skeptical about this, because we know that we produce cement in this nation. Same down with they produce cement, but he hasn't brought down the cost of
cement.
We just hope this of the petrol wouldn't be the same.
And we hope also, as Nigeria, we're going to see the impact of that refinery is going to lessen our stress, not add to it. Or then we're just here, we're not feeling the impact because we've been applauding them.
That's what we hope. That's what we pray and hope, because they said the production capacity of that refinery is about 650,000 barrels every day. We just hope, just like the president said during the inauguration, it's a game changer. Let's just hope and pray so.
We hope and pray so, and congratulations to once again, not just Dangote, but us.
Yeah, so all Nigerians,
Yes. And then the last story here says the United President Joe Biden has announced has sent delegation to attend the inauguration of the Nigerian's president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu come May 29.
Yeah, when I read that story, I read that the opposition were kicking against the
article, to be precise, was very angry that means you've already agreed that this man is the president, or he's going to be the president. For me, it changes nothing. Even if the president Joe Biden himself comes to the inauguration, it changes nothing. It doesn't affect the judgment, the outcome
of what's going to happen at the it doesn't.
Okay. All right, that is a good place to wrap up the show today. Viewers, we've been on Inside Nigeria, where we bring you trending topic, as of course, things bordering on us as the people, as the nation. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Do hope that next week you'll be here with us also as we discuss things that are affecting us, and of course, way to move us all as a people and nation forward. Just before we go, don't forget to hit on the notification bell, invite somebody to the page, like and share our content. Also, let that person bring another person is a chain. And also, a Nigerian Week London that is fast approaching. Do well to be part of that event. Get your ticket, get your stand, and it's going to be fun. A lot of people already partnering with us on this event, so do well to get your tickets. Chinedu, I've been on the show with Chinedu Oguru, our management consultant. Thank you so much for being on the show this evening.
Yeah,
we appreciate your time, all your contributions as well.
Hopefully
we do this again next week.
No problem.
Thank you so much, viewers. To have yourself a lovely evening. I remain yours truly, Princess KESSY. See you next week.
Everything happens for a reason. Bless life from a different prison. Bless a lot of people locked up in bedtime 7 o'clock.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Ice Prince of mine.
Ginger, aka Swagga Swagga. But my name now is Femi, aka the Music and Taliban.
What up, Nigeria? K to the O to the NG.